Hi, I'm Colin Arkins, team leader of Husky Game Development Team 10, and today I'm going to talk about our game we've been creating as part of Husky Game Development, Lost in Mazie Mansion. As a brief introduction for those who don't know, Husky Game Development is an enterprise here at Michigan Tech with the goal of designing and developing games for business, education, and entertainment, as well as creating quality software that will attract and satisfy industry. In Husky Game Development, we work in a diverse team consisting of members with a variety of talents and skills to create a video game over the course of one or several semesters. In addition, we playtest the game throughout development, create a trailer for the game, and publish the game on the Husky Game Development website. Now, for a brief overview of our game, Lost in Mazie Mansion is a horror puzzle game with a top-down view in which the player is trapped within an enormous mansion and must find a way to escape. In order to do so, the player must find different items and tools throughout the mansion to help them solve various puzzles and roadblocks they'll encounter along the way. The game follows a mostly linear narrative, with set interactions the player will encounter, and a predetermined way to progress through the game. The beginning of the game is a good example of how these interactions play out. The player begins in an unknown bedroom, disoriented and alone. After walking around, the player encounters a benevolent ghost, Mazie, who appears to have amnesia. The player can find candy and give it to her, which helps recover her lost memories. She then gives hints and helps the player through the mansion. In this case, giving her the candy allows the player to learn about and obtain a flashlight. The majority of our time in Husky Game Development is spent developing our game. However, one large aspect we work on before beginning development on the game is designing it. In our case, this is done in the form of the Game Design Document, which is an in-depth document containing specifications, features, and plans for the game. For our team, this also includes our plans for the overall story. In addition to the game design document, our team has taken quite a bit of time to plan the layout and design of the mansion the player will be exploring. This includes diagrams of the layout of the mansion, as shown below, in addition to plans for how the player will progress through the area. For example, in the starting hallway section of the game, the player begins by starting in the bedroom, grabbing the candy, talking to Mazie, solving a puzzle for a flashlight, and so on. After designing the game, most of our time is spent on development. This is broken up into sprints, which are about 2-week-long periods of development, where we work on completing different aspects of the game. Before each sprint begins, we assign different tasks to each of our team members to complete over the course of the sprint. When each task is finished, we push our changes to a shared repository on GitHub to ensure everyone has a consistent and updated version of the game. One of the major aspects of the game we work on is the level design. This involves creating different areas of the game in Unity, such as the study, bedroom, and hallway, as you can see below. This process includes creating floors, walls, items, and furniture throughout the room, in addition to creating the events that occur when the player interacts with different things in the room. One of the main focuses of our development currently is creating the main hallway area of the third floor, as well as the many rooms connected to it. This includes rooms such as the main hallway itself, as shown below, the 5 different guest bedrooms, shown here, as well as those shown here, as well as the attic area above the main hallway, as shown here. Another major aspect of development for our game is the artwork, which involves creating tiles and sprites to be used in the different parts of the game. As you've seen in the previous few slides, the art we have is used everywhere in the creation of different rooms, from the floors and walls to the furniture scattered throughout. Additionally, art and animation is used for the different characters and enemies found throughout the mansion, as you can see here. Another major part of our game is the gameplay, which is what the player is able to do and how they interact with the game. Our game is designed around the player exploring different rooms and interacting with the objects found throughout. In the process of doing so, they will find different items they can use, such as keys to open up locked doors and a flashlight to light up dark areas. Additionally, interacting with these things will trigger different dialogues, which include written descriptions of the player's actions, as well as his comments and conversations with people. Additionally, another major part of the gameplay are the puzzles. While exploring, the player will encounter puzzles they must solve in order to progress, such as the bookshelf puzzle, where the player must place books on the shelf in the correct order, shown on the left, and the fireplace puzzle, where bricks have to be pushed in a certain order, shown on the right. This project has been very significant in terms of our development experience. It's allowed us to improve our skills and gain experience in Unity, as well as expand and improve upon our knowledge in game development, learn how to work as a team, and practice Scrum software development. These skills are extremely valuable and useful in industry. Our main objectives include working with other passionate developers to construct a game that we enjoy. We're here to learn about new technologies and gain experience from our peers in Husky Games. Finally, we're hoping to develop a relatively large game which we can be proud of and showcase to potential employers. Throughout our development, we've used a variety of different tools and software to help work on different aspects of the game we may not have been able to create ourselves. First of all, we use Unity to develop our game. This is a game engine which provides our game with a great deal of functionality and tools to use. It gives us a variety of useful built-in tools such as 2D lighting. This gives us a great deal of assistance and saves us a lot of time. Fmod is what we use for sounds in our game. This allows us to easily implement sounds into parts of our game such as footsteps. Ink is our conditional dialogue system. What we mean by conditional is that after an event has occurred, the dialogue that the player is presented with changes. For example, when the player does not have candy, Mazie provides the player with a different dialogue than if the player had a piece of candy. We use A* for enemy pathfinding. This provides our enemy an artificial intelligence which gives it more accurate pathfinding abilities. Finally, we use Text Mesh Pro for our text and user interface. By using this library, we are able to easily change our user interface and keep everything consistent like buttons and text. Our team has made a great deal of progress on our game throughout our time working on it. However, we still have a long way to go and a great deal of content to program into our game. We would like to complete designing and developing the remaining rooms in the mansion. Right now, we have implemented most of the third floor, but we still have 2 more floors in the attic to develop and construct a story around. This leads to our next point, adding more puzzles, key items, and progression into our game. It is a puzzle game after all, so we'd like to fill the rest of our game with interesting, interactive, and challenging puzzles. We're also currently trying to find ways to rework our input system so it's more functional on our game. By doing this, we should be able to have the game completely playable with a controller. This would be either Xbox, PlayStation, or any other controller which can connect to a computer. Additionally, we're planning on doing extensive playtesting of our game. By playtesting, we can get feedback and greatly improve the quality of our game with each iteration. Finally, we would like to provide a list of acknowledgements for the people who have made developing our game possible. Myself and my team would like to thank Husky Games and all of our management members, Drew Stacaro, Emily Winkleman, Austin Clark, Crystal Fletcher, Maddie Leclerc, and Maddie Hunt. We would also like to thank Unity for providing us with the engine we've used to develop our game. That's all we have. Thanks for listening.